Hello, everyone. Thanks for tuning in to this module titled Nuts and Bolts, which will hopefully provide you with important information as we get ready for the start of the 2025-26 school year. First and most importantly, we know how important and powerful it is to welcome our students back for the school year and to build positive relationships. Building strong relationships begins the moment our students walk through the door of our building and into our classrooms. So it's really important to be clear around expectations for all staff members as we begin the school year, especially as it relates to being present and engaged. School entrances, hallways, and doorways are our chance to model for our students what healthy interactions look like. As a school, we're committed to building meaningful relationships with students by standing at our classroom door and greeting and welcoming students into our classroom. We're not just there to prevent something from going awry. We're there because we care about our students and we want to connect with them in as many ways as possible. So we're going to at our doors by 8 a.m., greeting and welcoming students. It's also important that we engage with our students in the halls proactively and responsibly. Our presence is more than just hallway transitions. It applies to all duties. We have an incredible opportunity to model a connected community when students step off the bus, walk through the doors, down the hall, and then as they exit the building to head home. Our presence is also a chance to model how people should interact with each other. If we notice students are not interacting appropriately, it's our chance to model and give students an opportunity to practice again. We get to teach, redirect, and encourage students every moment they're in the building, and students notice. They notice if we're not in the halls. They notice if we're not greeting them. They notice if we're not trying to interact with them and build relationship. Our presence must be consistent. We have to do it every day. When we are consistently in the hallways reminding students of expectations, we create an environment in which no student falls through the cracks. If a student's walking down the hall and along the way, 5 different teachers remind them of expectations, they will realize that they are noticed, they are seen, and expectations are important. And look, I get it. Some days we're tired, burnt out, or just not feeling it. However, when we stay consistent with our own presence and our presence as a cohesive staff, it makes all the difference to our students and each other. So let's now talk about W4. Each white day, W4 teachers will conduct W4 lessons. The lessons are sometimes differentiated by grade level, and links to each day's lesson can be found on the W4 lesson calendar. During W4 advisory, we do several things. First, all teachers deliver our shared W4 lessons, which is how we build relationships, create community, build common language, clarify expectations, and share and cultivate our values. In addition, periodically throughout the year, we set aside time during W4 for teachers to hold check-ins. Through these one-on-one conversations with students, we build a caring and trusting environment for all students. We cultivate positive relationships and identify student needs. Another way we build connection and belonging is through our clubs and activities. We know many students can't participate in after-school programs, but connecting to students beyond the classroom is critical for student success. That's why we hold W4 Activities Day about once a month. Students can attend club meetings and connect over shared interests during W4, making these opportunities accessible to everyone. We know that when we commit to taking the time to build relationships with each of our students and families through direct communication, the dividends are huge. Our students start our students start their very first day knowing they have a connection with a caring adult. So please use the outreach script in the virtual opening to connect with each of your W4 students and welcome them back into the building. I know the idea of picking up the phone might be daunting, especially because many of our students live in a home where English spoken is where the language spoken at home is something other than English. Once again this year, we've been able to secure a contract with United Language Group to assist with translating. This group provides access to translators for over 200 languages. All you need to do is call ULG, let them know what language you need, and they will add the parent to your call and interpret the conversation. The phone number and access code are linked in the script on the virtual opening. As we mentioned before, we know how important and powerful it is to welcome our students, communicate high expectations, and support them in meeting these expectations. And even when we do, some students will still struggle. So we have created teams to support students who struggle. Each student in our school has a team of people who supports them. Our alpha teams include counselors, administrators, behavior support administrators, family liaisons, social workers, and psychologists. When a student needs higher levels of support, they are assigned to a student support coordinator as well. We have a systematic, proactive, school-wide processes that uses data and decision guidelines to identify students for targeted support. Just like the way a special education case manager coordinates support for the students on their caseload, arrange IEPs, check in with teachers to monitor progress, and ensure that accommodations are being effectively used. Similarly, a student support coordinators will arrange parent conferences, check in with teachers on student progress, and ensure that interventions are put into place for the students on their caseload. And new this year, we've expanded the role of Cass Hirsch, our attendance support coordinator. Similar to a student support coordinator, we have used data to identify students who have historically struggled with attendance. These students are on Cass's caseload. Before the first day of school, Cass will work with these students and their families to support a strong start to the school year. You might be thinking to yourself, that's great, but what about students that's great for students who are already identified, but what about students who begin to struggle later on? The student support homepage found on Info Central is where you can reach out for support. Please continue to use the student support referral to request support for students who are in need. When a referral is submitted, admin, counselors, and student support coordinators will be notified, and they will ensure that a student receives the support they need, whether the concern is for behavior, academics, wellness, or attendance. New this year, we've modified our student support referral to reflect two types of referrals, one for documentation and one to request action. Documentation referrals are for situations you've already handled. You've talked to the student, reinforced expectations, contacted home, maybe adjusted a seating assignment. You've taken care of it. This referral simply documents what happened so we can track patterns and address small, persistent issues before they escalate. When a teacher submits a documentation referral, they will use a copy of their responses they'll get a copy of the responses to their FCPS Gmail. But because it's for documentation purposes only, they will most likely not receive any follow-up communication from admin or counselors. Now, action referrals are when you need support or intervention. When you submit an action referral, the member of the Alpha team will follow up with the student and circle back with you to let you know about next steps. We know how important and powerful it can be to partner with our students' families. So every time you submit a student support referral, please also contact the parent to let them know what's going on. Working together to support and help our students navigate challenges is how we're most effective. Don't forget, if you need language support to call home, we have access to ULG for live interpretation services. Next up, the one you've been waiting for, cell phones. As you know, FCPS has updated the cell phone policy. For high schools, this means that students may only use their devices during lunch and before and after school. So as an admin team this summer, we've worked together to determine our approach to supporting students, staff, and families with this new policy. And here it is. Clear expectations. We are the model. How we talk to kids matter. And finally, when needed, reach out for support. So let's talk more about what this means. We have posters for every classroom as well as W4 lessons explaining off, away, all day, and we have communicated with families. To be clear, the policy is that students may not use phones in classrooms, even for educational purposes, in the hallways or in the bathrooms. Students can store their phones in their locker or their backpack, but they must be away. The only place they can use their phone is the cafeteria during lunch. That's it. Clear expectations. Off, away, all day. And it will be very important that we are all consistently reinforcing these expectations. And we have to remember that we are the model. This means that we have to put our phones away when we're working with students. And we know this is a change. So how we talk with students to remind them of our expectations will be really important. How we talk to kids matter. It's not just phone away or else. Instead, we say things like, Saul, remember we have said that we all learn best when phones are off and away all day. I want to remind you of next steps if you continue to have your phone out. Or, Mary, your learning is really important to me. It is important that there are no distractions. Please put your phone away and get to work. But in cases where students continue to use their phones, reach out for support. There is a new icon on your laptop that looks just like this one. If a student will not put their phone away, even after reminders, go ahead and submit this referral. A member of the security team will come to your classroom, take the student's phone, lock it up, and give them a receipt. And the student can come at the end of the day, receipt in hand, and get their phone. That's it. Off, away, all day. So now let's switch to hall passes. Once again this year, each classroom will receive one hall pass for students to use for quick trips. The passes will be color-coded by the area of the building. Please remember to use paper passes for longer trips or if you don't anticipate the student will return. So for example, they're sick and they're going to the clinic. Just know that a stack of paper passes will be placed in your mailbox this week. We will also be using our weapons detection system again this year for all students entering the building. In the morning, door 1 and door 7, just like last year, will be equipped with weapons detection towers from 8 a.m. Until it's beginning at 7:45 and lasting through the morning rush, 8:10. Just like in past years, CTs will finalize the syllabus using the syllabus template for each course. This year, you'll be posting your syllabus in Schoology for your students and parents to view. We encourage you to support students and parents in finding the documentation online. As a school, we're not going to require parents to sign the syllabus, and we're not going to assign a grade for reviewing or signing this syllabus as well. So now it's time, let's talk a little bit about time and attendance. If you need to be out, here are the procedures for taking leave. Email your admin, coach, CT lead, and or department chair, as well as your co-teacher if you have one, as soon as possible, and preferably ahead of time. As soon as possible, request a sub and email Jen Buchanan, Jocelyn Santos, and Ashita Zaman. Enter your name and my time. As a reminder, staff may use up to 6 days each year for personal leave. All other leave must be entered as individual sick leave if you yourself or are sick or have a medical appointment, or family sick leave if you're caring for a family member. If you have any questions about leave, just reach out to Jen Buchanan. New this year is the collective bargaining agreement, or CBA, and with it comes some changes. Contract hours for most teachers will be from 8 o'clock a.m. until 3:30 p.m. each day. For operational reasons, some groups of teachers and staff may have an adjusted start time with the length of the day remaining the same. Teachers will be expected to be on site during the duration of their contract hours unless they take leave. IPRs, or individual professional responsibilities, will be assigned during their IPR period, which is every other day during their open period. During this time, teachers will be assigned instructional and operational responsibilities. For example, these responsibilities include attending collaborative team meetings, maybe an IEP or 504 meetings, as well as hall duty, lunch duty, or door coverage. Meeting scheduling guidelines. If a teacher is required to attend a meeting, all efforts will be made to schedule the meeting during that teacher's IPR time. If in the event that a teacher will need to attend a meeting during their planning period or any other time, a teacher will be provided with a substitute to cover a class during the same day as the meeting. Teachers and staff are to remain on site until 3:30 p.m. Again, during this time, and unless otherwise directed, teachers should be working on their professional duties, including meeting with students, planning, grading, or even meeting with parents. Now let's shift to student attendance. Accurate attendance is critical, especially during the first week. The admin team monitors our no-show list to ensure any student missing the first day gets immediate outreach to bring them back through our doors. For the first week of school, please enter attendance and desist within the first 15 minutes of each class period. The attendance team runs reports every 15 minutes to identify students who need immediate follow-up. Your timely attendance entry makes this early intervention possible. During the first 15 minutes of class, please mark any student who is not there or who has arrived late with the appropriate code. UNV is unverified if you don't see a student at all during the class period. UNT, or an unexcused tardy, is if a student comes to classroom late within the first 20 minutes of class without a pass, or with a yellow unexcused tardy pass received in the main office lobby. If a student is more than 20 minutes late, it becomes a cut. If a student, if they come with a cut, take the pass and they don't return, or they don't leave with a pass and don't return to your classroom, that's also considered a cut. Please use that in these cases. And finally, unexcused tardy. If a student arrives late to class and presents a valid pass, timestamped within the 10 minutes of receiving the pass, students who arrive to class with a blue unexcused tardy pass will have their attendance updated by the attendance office. As a reminder, students may receive one of 3 passes from the attendance office. When students arrive to school more than 30 minutes late, they'll need to check in with the attendance office. From the attendance office, they'll either receive a yellow unexcused tardy pass or a blue excused tardy pass. When the student arrives to your class, please welcome them and then mark them in CIS with the appropriate code. If a student knows they'll be leaving from school early, they'll receive a purple pass. This pass will show the time the student should be excused from class. At the time indicated on the purple pass, the student should report to the attendance office to check out of school. And now let's talk about laptop distribution. This year, laptops will be distributed on the first day of school through W4 via a special schedule. On Monday, we'll begin with a 30-minute W4 followed by a regular red day schedule. In preparation, the tech team will deliver the following to W4 classrooms by Friday, August 15th. Laptops. Laptops will be labeled with the student's name. The student indicated on the laptop is responsible for turning that same laptop in at the end of the year. So it's important that you give the computer to the students whose name is on the label. Students who have a laptop from last year will receive a piece of paper indicating the reason they didn't receive a laptop. Chargers. Some students did not turn in their charger last year. In that case, the student will not receive another charger. Instead, they'll receive a piece of paper with a message about their obligation. Please distribute either an obligation slip or a charger to each student. And finally, the rosters. The roster will indicate all of your W4 students. Some students may not be issued a laptop because they still have one from last year. This will be indicated on that roster. And as you distribute the laptops and chargers, please place a check mark next to the name of each student who was given a laptop and charger. You will return this roster and any remaining equipment to the tech office on Tuesday. Just know more detailed information will be shared as we approach the first day of school. And finally, this year, we're asking teachers and staff to collect and leave recycling outside their doors before leaving on Mondays and Wednesdays. The picture lists the items that the county recycles. With that, I hope you have found this module useful and you feel ready to begin the week with your students. If you have any questions, please reach out to your administrator. Don't forget to take some time over the next week and the next weekend to refresh and recharge in your favorite ways. And thank you for all that you do to prepare Adam Nation for another fantastic school year.